Is his explanation acceptable to you?
No, it's not. I thank you for replaying, how gracefully tried to say end of story, how he amazingly decided to gaslight Nigerians on his very tactless comments that he made on this very auspicious platform. It's quite that Mr. I guess he's looking for more work in Mr. Tinubu's cabinet, and so he's just going on and on. He's received more than enough airtime, and we need to move on from this. Mr. Felix Morka is the one that has crossed the line. I do not really understand why security operatives have not picked him up so that he can explain what he meant by whatever Mr. Peter Obi has coming to him. He should take it like that. I paraphrase, but we all get the crux and the gist of the matter. Mr. Felix Morka he's supposed to be thanking a man like Mr. Peter Obi, who's doing his job, where he's to speak to his party, to speak to the president about the situations that Nigerians are facing in this government with the reforms they have come up with. It's just clear that Mr. Morka is looking to be noticed. We have noticed him, and we have understood that he is, by his own words, Peter Obi. Like I said, he should rather thank Mr. Peter Obi for putting himself front and center. I have come to realize that the APC did not see a Mr. Peter Obi coming. They did not see an obedient movement coming. When he complains and gaslights Nigerians and complains about the movement to which I also belong, it's because Mr. Morka himself has taught those young people how to behave exactly like him. Every time he speaks, every time he vilifies, every time he tries to denigrate the person of Mr. Peter Obi and the obedient movement, he's actually describing himself. He's speaking about himself. We are not afraid. Who knows, I may not get home because I have said what I have said. But like Mr. Peter Obi said, if this be the end, then so be it. Nigerians should not be spoken to as less than human beings. Nigerians should not be treated as we are not in, we're not in a zoo. And for lack of a better word, I do not even want to go think about what someone like President Trump described Nigeria. When they say that Nigerians demarket Nigeria, Mr. Felix Morka is the first demarketer of Nigeria with such comments, with such careless talk. That's what I have to say to Mr. Morka. Thank you.
This discussion is not taken out of context, and you will be safe, because we do see a situation where there seems to be freedom of speech, but not so much freedom after speech in the Idi Amin way. But let's discuss the language and tonnage of communication from spokespersons of the ruling party. What does it signal about this political climate that we are currently in Nigeria?
It's as though they just want to be autocratic. It's as though they know what democracy stands for. It's as though they just want to, every Nigerian that has a contrary opinion to theirs. I grew up in a home where we grew up with a lot of love, but we also had dissenting voices. And just because my voice is my opinion or my thought process differs from yours doesn't mean it doesn't mean that I dislike you. It just means that on this God's green earth, we are all different. We cannot all be the same. And the APC is fast becoming a leadership. How does Mr. Morka think it's okay to say, rather than, it would have been more admirable if he just came, on air this morning and said, what, I was taken out of context, I apologize. Like I said, I don't know why security operatives haven't picked him up yet. They picked up Mr. Dr. Shehu Mahdi for alleging that they might be building, the government might be building a military base somewhere in Borno State. And he was picked up for questioning. Mr. Felix Morka has been given enough airtime in the media. Right now, I think he should be with the security operatives explaining why he made such a careless comment. Is he trying to tell us something? Is the APC or is the government planning something against His Excellency Peter Obi? This is a clear and pre for us. And it is wrong. Opposition is our fundamental human right. It is our right to speak. It is our right to ask questions. It is our right to their toes. It is our right to tell you where you are faulting. There are times that we go to visit internally displaced people, and so we've had people say to us, please, can you help us speak on the matter of the minimum wage? I have not received my minimum wage yet. I can barely feed my family. Where is it on this green earth, in this Nigeria, that somebody sits down, explains to you what the situations are, which you may or may not be aware of, and tells you, if I was in this position, this is what I would do? If the APC and if Mr. Felix Morka were being honest, they would have heard where Mr. Peter Obi, at the end of his press brief, said, referring to the president, he said, may God bless you, God bless Nigeria. Those are not the words of a person who government or who doesn't want the government to do well. We want the government to do well, but it's clear that nobody is telling them where they're going wrong. It's clear that everybody in their circle is afraid to speak to them. We're not afraid. We will speak, and we will speak for the people of Nigeria. You know, I need to give Mr. Felix Morka a lesson, you know, in patriotism 101, the simple basics. The office of the Nigerian citizen, that which you are, that which I am, that which everybody listening to my voice is. That should always precede anybody's political party, anybody's political ambition, anybody's president. The office of every single Nigerian from age 0 to 100 or whatever should always precede personal interests. I think Mr. Felix Morka needs to learn that. Like I said, simple, basic patriotism 101.